Welcome back to another episode of Projecting Grandeur. I am your host, Ron Dichter. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for being part of this community of ours. I have to say, today's show is a bit of a pivot off of what I wanted to talk about. I had a whole well thought out plan of what I wanted to cover, but then I had a team meeting today at my company Six Pack, and it got me thinking about something I really should talk about because it's something that I'm dealing with in my own business, and I think it's important. So this is a bit unscripted and a bit off the cuff here. So I hope that the information resonates and lands well with you. So I was in a meeting and I was talking to some of my new team members on the marketing side, and we were doing some kind of basic stuff, some tweaks to the website, some SEO optimization, doing some campaign analysis on some of the stuff we sent last week via email and social. And as I was talking with the team, they started rattling off all the things that we can do better and improve. And I said, that's great, all perfect. I said, but do you guys really understand what we're trying to build? And it made me realize that I had not done a good job of telling our new team members what the company is all about, what we're trying to accomplish. And they were looking at these procedural things that they had to do to accomplish the task, but they weren't really looking at the macro goal of what we were trying to do more aspirationally with the company. And you probably hear about this, and I'm sure some some class or teaching where it talks about having different focuses from short-term goals, more longer-term goals, and then these vision goals or more aspirational goals. And I had to take a pause and talk to them about aspirational goals. And what I really ended up doing was going down a rabbit hole of telling them about how we're not just building a software company to make businesses more efficient and their lives better. We're building a connected community. We're building a movement, and software is just one of the entry points. And as I was going down this path of explaining this, people looked at me and said, well, our marketing is totally off point then of what we're trying to do. I said, that's why we're having this conversation. And so the reason I bring this into you today isn't to tell you about this story of, this issue I had in my company, but it was this like mini epiphany I had throughout the day that we need to build what we want to build and not what we think we should build or being told to build. And, more specifically, as it related to me, it got me thinking, like, I started on this business because I had this vision in my head of what I wanted to build. I had this thing, this movement, this whole, symbiotic, like connected ecosystem of businesses and consumers making communities stronger, making the world stronger. And it was really pie in the sky, like out there kind of thinking, but that's why I did this. And so if you have this business idea that you're doing, you have this thing that gets you excited, inevitably what's going to happen is you're going to get into the day to day. You're going to start building the business. And then what's going to happen is things like HR, things like, equipment, things like the internet in your office, or if you're a remote team, dealing with how to make sure that you can have the right tools to communicate. All these things start to happen in your business that have nothing to do with what you started the business for. And then what you'll find is you start to get bogged down with, these day-to-day blocking and tackling things. And then next thing your limited time that you get to spend on the vision and growth and goal of the business is now limited to just solving problems of the day. Your marketing team, your sales team, your operations team, they all come in with the problem of the day. And so then what you find your time doing is literally solving this one specific thing that may not even be aligned with the vision of the company. And so really, I want two things to come out of today's topic. Number one, that vision that you have for your business, that idea, that thing that motivated you to do this in the first place, make sure you write that down. Make sure that you are staying true to that, and make sure that the day-to-day activities that you are focused on are helping to further that mission, further that goal, and to get you one step closer to achieving it. Don't lose sight of why you started this in the first place. The second thing I want to get out of today, involve your team. You can't have this amazing idea rattling around in your head. You have to tell your team about it, not just once. You have to constantly reinforce why you're doing this in the first place. what the goal of the business is. Aspirationally, what are we trying to accomplish? And once you can, orate that to your team, once you can get them bought in on it, now what happens is you don't have to be so worried about, am I going to get pulled into this one specific task that may not be on point with the vision? Everybody knows the vision. So all of their tasks now become focused on, is what we're doing right now helping to further that vision? So again, know your vision, know why you started this business in the first place, or you're about to start it, know what you're aspirationally hoping to do, and have something big, have a goal that's out there, and stay true to it. Make sure that the day-to-day activities stay focused on achieving that vision. Second, don't keep it close to your vest. Talk to your team about it. Be open, be communicating with your team, let them know what you're trying to do, get them bought in on this like huge change the world aspirational goals if that's what you have, because you're not going to do it on your own. You need a team to help you do it. So get your team involved with it. So stay true to that mission, get your team involved and excited about it. And that is how projecting grandeur can help manifest that reality down the road. Again, bit of a pivot off of today's topic. So apologies if this was a little bit of a rambling session, but I just felt like it's something that was top of mind and I had to address and bring up to everyone in our community. Please don't forget to like and comment, and most importantly, share. Get the word out there. We are helping entrepreneurs change the world. These are the people that are putting risk, they're innovating, they're disrupting, and anything that we can do to help them become better in their mission will make the world a better place. Thanks for tuning in, everyone. Have a great day.